the Bodie Hoist house.
This structure right here is the hoist house for the standard mine. The standard mine shaft would have been to the left of this, and it reached a depth of about 1,200 feet. So this structure right here would have held the cable and the hoisting machinery required to lift men and ore and whatnot both up and down the standard shaft. Now, although this is an older building, this building right here is what the original hoisting works used to look like. Unfortunately, it burned down in 1894.
The hoist house for the standard mine. Bodie. You can see knob and tube wiring. Decent subfloor. Where the winches once stood. Window for cable. On a resistive load here for the motors. You can see they ran power across. And where the standard shaft once was.
This is a look from the roof of the changing room, which we were actually reconstructing at the time since it had been destroyed by the severe weather up here. Slightly farther up Bodie Bluff is this head frame here, which has collapsed and fallen down. This would have been for what I believe to be the McClinton shaft. You can see the standard hoist house down there. Just a very, very large head frame here. You can see the sheave wheel. That's probably about 4 feet across right there. Just very, very large. They made them as large as possible on purpose to actually reduce the point load on the cables for hoisting. I'm not quite sure the depth on the McClinton shaft, but probably 300 or 400 feet at least. You can see some of the other tailings piles or waste rock piles up across the bluff. There's quite a few shafts in this area. Normally they're unseen to the public since the town is down below. Climbing around the corner here to see if we can look down the shaft. It's opened up quite a bit and looks more like a stope than anything else. But based off of the head frame, probably was a 2-compartment shaft right here. Before heading back down the hill, there's several things of interesting note here. For one is this trench, which is lined with square-cut stones. This was the trench where the flywheel for the massive steam engines used to go. You could see the bolts here that held down the cylinders for that steam engine. The drum for the hoisting works was 12 feet in diameter to hold all the cable to reach the 1,200-foot depth for the standard shaft. Behind the hoisting works, you can see the remnants of the boilers that also ran the steam engines. Lots of bricks were all over the area, and they didn't remove them after the building had burned down, but rather just built a new hoisting works and sort of left these in the area. The original hoisting house was 3 stories and contained a blacksmith shop, carpenter shop, and machine shop. Here's a look at the newly reconstructed changing room off the side of the hoist house. We put this back together from pieces that were in the area as it had been blown down and knocked over with heavy winds and snow.
There's a little outhouse over there. This looks like it might have been an assay office based off of the containers. Brake band there. A couple more. Oh, look at this jaw crusher here. Well, I wasn't expecting to see this. Remnants of a mill here. There's a tank over there. Let's get a little closer look at this jaw crusher. Look at this guy. Motor mount right there. Bits, bobs, and containers. That looks like the movable jaw there. Take a look up around the back. No, it looks like they're both in there. This is a massive jaw crusher. Any maker's mark? Not really seeing one. Service access underneath. Let's get in front of her, take a look. I like that. It looks like it almost has cooling in the bearings. Here we go. Web City 362S. Wow, that's massive. Take a look at that. Top of the mill. It's of a flotation plant here, just down from the mill ruins. You can see a lot of white rock here. Not quite sure what this is all about. Yeah. Yep. Check out this place. Oh, it's all the ore samples. All the rock samples are stored in here. Another building over here. Large flotation plant there. Workshop by the looks of it. Little pit. Check out these workshops real quick. A small storage shop. There's a cupola, some windows, electrical panels, footing of something. You find anything?
Picture of all the belts in here.
Yeah, all the V belts. And it's all parts storage. Tools, bits, bobs, pulleys. This whole building's leaning. Another workshop section over here. Pulleys, cubbies. Really cool space. What does that say? Kimball Krog, Los Angeles. Plates off the pump down there. Very cool. Dillon Ironworks, Denver, Colorado. Here's a good panoramic look at the hillside. You can see all the workshops, the remains of the mill. You can almost make out the jaw crusher. Lots of tanks, separators, classifiers at the bottom. And coming up on the train depot.